All right guys, so I'm doing a video today on how to reshape a really fine hair texture. So I've got my model Megan here. She's got pretty much one length hair. There's not a lot of movement. She also does wear hair extensions in her hair, so we're gonna make sure that we maintain a bit of length in there so that when she wants to clip in her hair extensions, she can and it'll still look really seamless. So to start, I'm gonna shampoo her hair with KMS ADD VOLUME Shampoo, and I'm gonna spray in a leave-in conditioning spray. And then we're gonna get right into a cut. And the cut that I'm gonna be doing today is more of a one length directional bob. So we're gonna maintain a little bit of, or eliminate length from the back while maintaining a bit of the length through the front. And I'll just style it with a little bit more texture and movement. So let's add some volume to this baby. I shampooed Megan's hair with ADD VOLUME Shampoo by KMS. And the reason I use that product is because it's designed for fine hair and it really sort of thickens up and adds maximum volume to the hair. It doesn't come with a traditional conditioner, so it comes in with a leave-in conditioning spray. Because Megan's hair is a little bit more fragile and quite dry and damaged on the ends, I'm gonna be using what's called Moist Repair leave-in conditioning spray. So when we use this, we wanna give everything a good shake and really mist it through the ends, because this here is a miracle worker when it comes to really repairing the dry ends. It also comes in a cream formula, so if you have very thick hair, you might want to use the cream option. For fine hair types, I recommend investing in what's called a wet brush. So a wet brush has a little bit more flexible bristles. The bristles are further apart, and they kind of comb through tangled ends a lot smoother. So using a comb might be a little bit too rough on the hair, and using a brush, like a regular brush, might also be a little bit too rough. So this one here prevents breakage. It's also really great if you do have hair extensions in your hair. It's a little bit lighter, so you can lightly comb through it and it won't sort of damage hair extensions that you might have permanently into your hair. So oftentimes hairstylists will ask you, oh, where do you part your hair? And then they start cutting the hair in the part. But I find that that kind of gives a bit of a lopsided finish. So if I start with a central vertical parting and get my quadrants really nice and clean, I'm able to create a really even and symmetrical haircut. And then at the very end, I typically will do my haircuts or customize my cuts dry. So then at that point, we can determine whether we want to part her hair to the left or to the right or wherever she would naturally part it. So I'm gonna section off my hair in the back, and I'm gonna start my cut through the back, and I'm gonna do a slight diagonal forward section here. That's sort of where the hair is gonna fall, and everything is gonna be cut sort of on a diagonal forward so that it's gonna be shortest in the back, longest through the front. Nice clean subsections. So I've got my clean subsections. And now I'm gonna cut the hair on a 45-degree angle. So that way we're getting a little bit of elevation and we're kind of creating a little bit more lift. So basically, this is 90 degrees when the hair is cut straight away from the head. This is a 45-degree angle, meaning that it's gonna be shortest at the base of the hairline and it's gonna get longer as we keep cutting. So we're gonna maintain as much length as possible. And then of course, 0 degrees is when the hair is cut, drop down at a 0-degree angle, straight down, and it's cut in a blunt finish. I still want to create my first section or my first guideline, and I want to make sure that I'm not taking off more than the 2 inches. So there we go, right there. So when I drop that, this is going to be the length of the back of the hair. All right, so I'm going to do a 0-degree with a diagonal forward shape. So I'm kind of slightly angling this down. And I'm using that as my guide. And now I'm going to spin over this side, push that little bit of extra hair out so we have an even shape. And now I'm going to point cut that section down. All right. So now that we've got our baseline done, we know that this is our guideline. This is where all of the hair is going to be cut to. So I'm going to do a 1-inch directional forward sectioning. Because she has finer hair, I can be a little bit more liberal with my subsections. And then I'm just gonna follow along to the curvature of the head and continue the haircut so that we create that beautiful one length directional shape. All right, so now we just did the main perimeter of the haircut. We maintained a bit of the length through the front. She naturally has these shorter bits through the back, through the front, and we've now brought up the back a little bit. So at this point, I'm gonna be putting some product in it. I'm gonna start blow drying. And then once I finish my blow dry, I'm gonna customize the cut. So next step. We're gonna use a product in her hair that's gonna help to style the hair. So in this case, we wanna add volume. We wanna add as much volume as possible without looking too like Texas hair, you know? So I'm gonna use the Add Volume Styling Foam. And I'm also gonna use the Add Volume Liquid Dust. So this here is like sea salt spray married a dry shampoo. So you apply this at the scalp or anywhere at the crown area that you wanna kind of create fullness and volume. It gives the hair a little bit of grit, but it eliminates the whole process of adding a powder or any kind of dry shampoo to sort of thicken it up. So these are the two products that I'm gonna use today on Megan's hair. So I'm gonna just basically start by applying this really from root to ends and apply it sort of throughout the hair. And now because her hair is really fragile and we're gonna be using hot tools in her hair, I highly, highly, highly recommend any type of thermal spray if it's not already included in your priming product that you've put in to start. So I'm gonna use the Blowdry spray. This is gonna protect the hair from damage, it's gonna protect it from heat, and it's also gonna give the hair a little bit of extra hold. So again, extra light layers of this, and it's gonna give you it's gonna magically protect your hair from the heat. So what I like to do is I like to sort of like remove some of the moisture in the hair so that we're not starting from a really wet, sopping wet head of hair. So I'm gonna just give it a light blow dry, and then I'm gonna do what's called a wrap blow dry. So with my wrap blowout, I'm gonna be using what's called a Denman brush, and I'm gonna be using my blow dryer. And the trick is that you're basically blow drying the hair using the curvature of the head to kind of create a little bit of smoothness and to kind of add some volume to the hair. We're kind of pushing it to the opposite direction of where it falls so that when it does fall back into place, it's kind of creating this really nice volume or lift at the root without using a round brush. I am gonna now switch to a round brush just to kind of create a little bit more fullness and also to show you and demo how the liquid dust works. So I'm gonna put a few pumps of the liquid dust in the palms of my hand. I did about three pumps. And I'm gonna really emulsify that into my hands. And then I'm gonna apply that right at the crown area and just to where I really want as much lift as possible. It feels a bit tacky, but when it blow dries in, it's very, very, very soft. You can already see here that even if I just sort of like ran my fingers through the crown area here, this liquid dust just gives it maximum volume, maximum texture, and you're just basically letting the product do all the work. So as you can see here now, we've done the main cut, we've blow dried it, and you can see how just even without customizing and without adding layers, there's lots of fullness, there's lots of body, and again, it's creating that kind of texture in there without making the hair feel weighed down. And especially with fine hair, you don't want to weigh down the hair. Otherwise, it's just going to get really oily and it's just going to fall flat. And we've now we've changed sort of the fabric of the hair because of the products that we put in the hair. So it's really, really important that when you are styling your hair, you want to remember your start, your style, and your finish. So your start would be your shampoo and conditioner, whatever is going to prep the hair, whatever primer you're going to put in the hair, conditioning treatments, things like, or leave-in conditioning treatments. Your style is what product are you going to use to provide durability in the hair so that now it's going to last all day. And then your finish is going to be the hairspray that you're going to be using or the finishing product that's going to really play up the finish of the hair and make it last longer. So now I'm going to start customizing the shape. I'm just going to touch up some layers, play it up a little bit more because now I feel like you've got a bit more shape in your hair. All right, so we're gonna touch up her fringe here. She likes to create more of a curtain bang so she can wear it both in the middle and to the side. So the trick here is, and I want everyone to sort of like be mindful of this, when you are cutting your fringe, you want to make sure that you're cutting enough fringe. Some people don't keep in mind the natural curvature of the head. So when I place my comb here, and wherever the comb lifts off of the head is where your fringe should technically start. So some people, they want to start their fringe a bit lower, but then what's going to happen is naturally the gravity is going to kick in, and anything that's going to fall forward will fall forward based on the natural curvature of the head. So here on Megan, we kind of determined that pretty much this is right here the start of her fringe area. I've sectioned it off, and now I'm just going to lightly just shave the, or I guess glide cut the fringe in. Don't try this at home. People, if you need your bangs fixed or trimmed, come and see a professional. So as you can see here now, we've maintained her part still in the middle so that it's even on both sides when the hairs drop down. But then I just kind of took that corner from the front and sectioned off her fringe, which is still an off-center side part. But I think that that's going to give you even distribution, especially for those of you even with thicker hair or thin hair. We don't want one side to look super weak and one side to look super full. So by keeping that central vertical parting, styling it in the middle, and then just determining where you want your fringe to go, I think that's going to be your best option. So as you can see here, Megan has beautiful, thick, full, voluminous looking hair. We've added some soft layers to it. We created sort of a side sweeping fringe. I'm gonna use a curling wand now to give it a bit of a bend and just to kind of like kick up the hair a little bit, give it a little bit of life, get some like pieces popping like it's hot. And then I'm gonna finish with the KMS Add Volume Liquid Dust, just to kind of really play up that texture without weighing down the hair. So I gave it a bit of a bend. I'm grabbing these just big chunks of hair and just giving those mid-lengths a bit of a bend. Because with Megan's fine hair, it probably doesn't hold a curl very well. But with the right products, it'll kind of give it a little bit of texture. It'll give it that sort of beachy wave, sea salt, kind of like I just got off the, what am I trying to say? Ooh. All right, so you can see here, I literally just bent the hair in 6 sections. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, okay, 7 sections. Because I don't want her hair to look curly. I don't want it to look perfect. I want it to look lived in. So now I'm gonna do a few more pumps of the liquid dust in my hands here. Run it through my fingers. And then I'm just gonna kind of like loosen up her curls here that we just added. And we're just gonna make it a little bit more rock and roll chic here. You're really hot. This is like so good. Good model, good model. Okay, I'll give it a bit of a spray with our lightweight finishing spray. And now you can really play up all the layers and the textures that we added to the hair. So as you can see, this is a directional 1-length bob, where it's shorter through the back and longer through the front. We've incorporated some really soft layers just for some texture, and we styled it with a bit of a curling wand as well as with our Add Volume line, which is going to give it maximum hold and lift and fullness. And there you have it, a long textured bob for a fine hair type. It's got movement, it's got body, and all you need is a little bit of volume. So book your appointments, people. Bye, little birdie. Fly away and show the world your beautiful hair. Yeah, I'm crazy. But that's how I feel about all of my clients. So what I like to do, oh, hold on, oh, shit. So I shampooed Megan's hair with Add Volume Shampoo and Conditioner, for God's sakes. Ooh. I said it wrong. One more time, take it from the top, All right, so there you have it, a long, textured, one more time. So there you have it, a voluminous, textured, Mexican, Flexican, Italian. What's wrong with me? And there you have it, a lovely textured hairstyle for a fine hair texture. And there you have it. a beautifully textured long bob for a fine hair.
Oops.
Yeah. So, come around here often? Ooh, you need your nails done.
Oh, I know.
Like, what happened here? Did you
It broke off.
did you pull someone's hair extensions out in a fight? I'm just kidding.
Oh my god. No, I really did get my nails done.